Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Liz and today is going to be a story time pretty much. If this is the first video you've come across, then you will notice no difference, but if you watched my videos previously, my voice is not like this usually. It's been like a direct result of my surgery. So I had a tonsillectomy. If anyone noticed, the past 2 weeks I haven't been posting regularly like I normally do. I usually post one video a week during the weekend, sometime between Friday up to Monday, to be 100% honest. Shout out to my bun, you can't see because it's out of frame if I sit up. So I got a tonsillectomy on October 16th and it was god awful. So basically leading up to the tonsillectomy I had chronic tonsillitis. I think this year would have been like the 4th time I caught tonsillitis and it's like god awful. I can't breathe. So currently I think it's, I don't know, 10 or 12 days out since my surgery. So if you're squeamish, I'm gonna give you a warning right now. I'm gonna pop up a picture of what my tonsils usually look like when I'm having tonsillitis. As far as my childhood goes, I don't know like if I struggled with chronic tonsillitis. Probably, maybe, because my tonsils are pretty huge. Anytime I do get tonsillitis, which is pretty frequently, every 3 months, which is annoying, they touch my uvula. And then on top of that, there are these things called adenoids, which is basically behind your nose, like behind your sinuses. And when they become inflamed due to the tonsillitis, it blocks off a huge section of your airway. And then when I have my tonsils, or like in the back of my throat, are also inflamed and touching my uvula, the airway to breathe is like non-existent, like very narrow path. So obviously heavy breathing. Top of that, I am overweight, so obviously that does worsen the symptoms. So I believe I had maybe one time I had really bad strep throat and I was still eating. I was like, forget that, I'm hungry. And then my parents were like taking me to the doctors, and before the doctors I had like a hot pocket and they're like, oh, I thought you had strep throat. I'm like, I do, but I'm hungry. So I'm still gonna eat this hot pocket. I always had issues breathing, so I know there was something wrong with my nose because my breathing was really labored and just always had issues with my breathing. Especially when I was sick, it would get worse. So as far as surgery goes, oh, that was a hot mess. Not the surgery itself, but the process leading up to my surgery was god awful. And then recovery time was just awful as well. So bad experience all the way around. So basically, in order to have the surgery itself, I needed to have a sleep study done, which revealed that I had mild obstructive sleep apnea. And the solution for that was either one, the CPAP machine, I think is corrective air positive something or other. It's this big Darth Vader mask thing you put over while you sleep to help you breathe, and it just pushes positive air into your throat, forcing your like throat to open up so it can push air into it. Or surgery, which was tonsillectomy. And I knew about this problem since I was like 19, and I was just like, I'm in school, I don't have time, or I'm working, I don't have time to take a week off or whatever. So I just kept pushing it off, and I was like, listen, 4-time tonsillitis this year, they gotta go. I was getting sick of it. I couldn't breathe, and breathing alone, being labored, it was just annoying me. I didn't like the fact that everybody could hear me breathe, and it was just like awful. Like honestly, I sound like a gorilla. So I was like, you know what, let me just schedule it. So I went to the ENT and he was like, yeah, you have a deviated septum. On top of that, your tonsils are really huge. And I went in, I was like, listen, I need to schedule surgery. He was like, yeah, that would be one of the best methods to correct this situation. Oh, you hear him? That's my baby brother. I don't know what happened to him. So another requirement to get cleared for surgery would be you need to have a pre-op physical cleared by your physician. And it was scheduled 2 weeks prior to my surgery date, which is the time it was supposed to be. And then they called and rescheduled me like, hey, we overbooked her for physicals on that day. And I'm like, okay. But yeah. So then they scheduled it for the Monday, the week of my surgery. So then on the paperwork, it's like, yeah, you need to have all this turned in 5 days prior to your surgery date. And, you know, 3 days, Fridays, prior to your surgery date. And I called the surgical coordinator. I was like, is this okay? They rescheduled me on Monday. I know the surgery's on Friday. They're like, yeah, as long as they do it within 3 days of the surgery. I'm like, okay, cool, fine. On top of that, I needed my COVID testing, which was scheduled for Monday, the same Monday for my pre-op physical, on the week of my surgery. So yeah, needless to say, I was really stressed out because it was like, it's cutting it real close, and like we can't push back this like physical any further. Like I would have to reschedule my surgery, whatever. So I do my physical, and she's like, yeah, you know, your blood pressure's a little high, we might need to want to push that back. And I'm like, are you kidding? And then she just left the room. And I was like, I thought about it because I was sitting there, like, you know, you're sitting in the office for like hours upon hours. And I'm like, wait, hold on, are you kidding me? Like, first of all, I had my physical scheduled 2 weeks prior, so in case there were any complications, this would be taken care of before surgery. Why are you waiting to the week of my surgery to then want to be like, okay, yeah, we need to push this back a little bit because your blood pressure needs to be under control? And to be fair, it's not that high. Normal is 120/80. I was sitting at like 140/80 after I just went up a flight of stairs to then be put in this room. So basically, her suggesting we should push back the surgery could have the actual surgeon be like, okay, her doctor's having some concerns, maybe we need to push this back. Like, no lady, I already scheduled my time off, I already coordinated with my job. Like, I can't just keep pushing this back, and then I would have to take another 2 weeks. That would be a whole month without work pay. Like, are you kidding me? Because even if those PTO is to reduce than my actual pay, and they're only giving me 40 hours when I normally work 55 hours, and they're not paying me for overtime and PTO. So that was just a freaking hot mess. So I didn't even know if I was even going through surgery on Friday. And so I was calling the surgical coordinator, and I was like, did you receive the pre-op physical? Did you receive it? And they didn't receive it. She called me the day prior to surgery like, hey, we still haven't received your physical from the doctor's office. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? And then the whole morning, the office was the whole morning they had like some type of network shortage in the office, so they didn't even have receiving calls until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? This whole like up to surgery, I was like, listen, I just want the surgery to go through. Like, I can't. So it was nearing like 4 o'clock, and I was like, okay, did you receive it? And she's like, yeah, I'll call you back with, like, I was literally on the phone the whole day. So she was like, okay, we received it, here's your surgery date, whatever. I was like, but the whole week I was like stressing out. I was like, I had to tell my job, like, I don't know if the surgery's gonna go through, And they're like, okay, just keep us posted. I'm like, okay, fine. And then Friday goes, I have my surgery. So he's still crying, like he's wailing. My surgery was at 8:30. They wanted me to be there like an hour and a half, and we didn't get there till like 7:30. So then everything was rushed, and I felt bad, but like I wasn't the one driving. No, I'm sorry. So, but I was there like 30 minutes late, and so then they send me straight upstairs, and I go in and everybody's rushing me, and they're all doing the same thing at one time, and the nurse is trying to get all these questions, and then the surgeon comes in, and then the other surgeon comes in, and bless you. So then I get undressed and stuff like that, and they're like, yeah, all your piercings have to come out. I'm like, yeah, cool, I know the routine. But as far as post-op, prescribed me oxy and a steroid, and coming out of surgery, like going into surgery, I was really nervous because everybody was telling me how god-awful the pain was, and they were right. And I didn't know what kind of pain to expect, to be honest, but it wasn't nothing that I could ever expected. So basically, after surgery, there weren't really any dietary restrictions other than don't eat Doritos because they're cut up the back of your throat. They were saying, you can eat whatever besides like sharp things, and but honestly, I couldn't even eat. Like, I only eat like primarily like ice pops for like 8 to 10 days, and then within those 8 to 10 days, like the first week, I lost like 20 pounds. Do not recommend. That's not safe. But I just couldn't eat. It hurt. It felt like every time I swallowed, somebody was punching me in my throat. I was swallowing every like 5 seconds because there was so much like mucus and just saliva just built up, and my whole mouth was swollen. I'll pop up pictures. My whole throat like came out swollen. Like, I know I have a double chin, but like it was just so swollen, and my tongue was swollen, and it was just like keeping my mouth shut, but like it was so swollen, like obviously my tongue was still in my mouth, like behind my teeth, but like you can see like the teeth marks on the side of my tongue because they were just being like pressed up against it. Within the last day or two, I was actually able to talk because I really couldn't talk either for the first 8-9 days. It was just because it would hurt to talk, so I would just say like one word answer. So it's been 12 days since surgery, so within the last day or so has been the actual day I've been able to talk, and still this isn't my normal voice. I have no idea if this is a permanent change or if this is just still healing, because it takes about 14 days to fully recover, and they were saying like, you know, you'll feel amazing after like 6 months, but honestly right after surgery, maybe not right after, maybe like a day after, my breathing improved dramatically. Like, I'm glad I got it done, honestly. Even to swallow the pain medication, it was just excruciating pain, but it was like, yo, just I need this to help me with the pain, because it was just like I feel like I just wanted to cry because I would wake up and it was just I tried to swallow it, I'm like, ooh, oof, okay, I need my oxy. As far as follow-up, I have to do a month follow-up with my ENT specialist, and they want a sleep study done to see if it cured my sleep apnea, because it was a pretty much mild form, and it was obstructive, because of my tonsils. Now my tonsils are no longer there. As far as like snoring wise, I guess, babe, was I a bad snorer? Like really bad, like loud?
Yeah.
Oh, and now how about now?
It's better.
It's better. Do I still snore though?
A little bit, but not as bad.
Oh. See, I would say I just breathe heavily, but okay. My snoring apparently improved dramatically. So yeah, that is the story time about my tonsillectomy that I've been putting off for years. But I'm glad that I got it done. Would I go through that again? Probably yes, honestly. I don't have to, but like if I had to, knowing the pain now, like I would just still go through it again because I can breathe. I can breathe better. So if you watch this video all the way through, comment down a little hospital emoji, because that's where I got surgery and I don't know what else to recommend. Honestly, I'm thinking like the mouth emoji, but just like, just comment down a little hospital emoji. So thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, because YouTube makes me say this. And yeah, bye.